Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael. It is Taco Tuesday. Hope you go out there and support your favorite taco truck. And hope everybody is doing well. Got a lot of things to showcase today. But first, let's go to our S&P 500 map. For some reason, something shut down all of my windows last night. So I'm just logging in here. So I'm going to share the screen. As soon as I bring the maps up. So I got the maps up and it looks pretty ugly. This is one of the uglier days that I've seen on record. Everything on this map pretty much looks in red. There's a few spots of green in healthcare, medical devices, but that doesn't look good at all. So that's our heat map, or chill map, as I would like to say today. And I'm not sure if this will show up anymore because a lot of my screens have been shut down. I'm just going to put it into a view that we can actually see. Now let's see if I can share that screen. It's right over here next to the heat map. So this is our annuity. I think 90% of people, maybe even more, would like to be in an annuity today when the market is down. You don't lose any money. You step up and you beat the average indexes by about 5%. Indexes bounce back and forth. Annuity keeps stepping up in value. They give you a bonus of 20 to 40% on all new money. This is how they are able to beat the indexes. So there we have that. Before we go to the news, let's see if we can bring up our screen. So we got our screen up and running. Let me just share that with everyone. So we didn't really look at any ETFs yesterday. My bad, this is Semtech. It is down slightly. I'm not sure why this is showing up here, but we'll start with ETFs. Financial screen is down heavily, down 1.2%. Communications was up strong yesterday, but is retreating today. The software is down pretty hard today. Volume starting to pick up a little bit, picked up from yesterday. Biotech, some biotechs that are bouncing pretty strong. So yes, that's up a little bit today. And the other one is up as well, almost 2%. Semiconductors down again today. Our building materials are down. Metals and mining, pretty strong down. They were up earlier. And our home builders missed on some reports, so they're down pretty heavily too. Let's go to our dollar. Dollar is up strong again. It was up strong yesterday. It gapped up and was up at the high, but then it pulled back some. That's not good for multinationals, so that's probably why the S&P 500 map is red. Take a look at gold. Gold is gapping down and is down strong today. Silver is doing about the same thing. Copper is down heavily again today. It's getting close to the 1624. It's down about 4%. Southern copper is down 2.5%. FCX, which was down pretty heavily yesterday, bounced back yesterday. And then it's down today. So let's look at our bond yields. They're crushing it again today. They initially pulled back and they have shot up stronger. This is why S&P 500 global map is down heavily. The 10-year yield now is at about 4.6. And look at the 20-year. It's getting close to 4%, so that's at 3.904. Take a look at the VIX. VIX is powering up. Wow, that's quite a strong move. And I'm just going to look for the news of the day and then look at the rest of the indexes. Wow, that might get above 20. Look at the S&P 500. Yeah, it's down pretty strong below the 433. Volume has picked up, so there's more selling today. Look at the NASDAQ. It was up yesterday and has fallen strongly today. With the bond yields up so strong, this is kind of what you'd imagine. I guess I spelled something wrong here. Let's look like the IWM, the small caps. Wow, look at that move. And that is some pretty big volume. Down 1.7%. Finally, let's look at the Dow Jones. Yeah, all the index. Holy cow, look at that move. That is massive volume. Well, on to our news. Feds, Kashkari said there's still more work to do on services inflation. Get back to 2% target. We may need to cut rates if real rates are tightening. Rates could probably go a little higher and be held there for longer to cool things off. Falling inflation next year might justify backing off the Fed funds rate to stop it getting tighter. Senate Republicans and Democrat negotiations are nearing a deal on short-term spending measures to keep the U.S. government going after October 1st. Legislation would extend funding for 4 to 6 weeks, present a challenge for Speaker McCarthy on whether to hold a vote on it, according to Bloomberg. On to sector news, let's bring up our charts. Ford Motors said it has halted work on $3.5 billion battery factory in Michigan just days after the car maker made concessions to its striking workers. So that's down a little over 1%. Soar Industries, quarter four EPS $1.68, tops consensus of 96 cents. Tried to move higher, and I believe the selling commenced once it got up here. Huge volume. I'm not sure if the yield had something to do with it, but it's been in a long downtrend. So sellers came in when it moved up. Said, thank you very much. Fisker said it expects to reach its target of deliveries of 300 vehicles a day later this year. They were up pretty strong earlier, pulled back to the middle of the range. Got a lot of volume on that news. Nissan Motor. Gapping down. Said all its new European models will be fully electric and plans to sell fully electric vehicles, EVs, on the continent by 2030. Somebody didn't like that news. DraftKings was up earlier, upgraded to overweight from neutral at JP Morgan and raised its price target to 37 from 26. And it was up earlier and then sold off. AKA Brands Holdings will affect a 1-for-12 reverse stock split for its common stock because the shares were under $1. And they can't stay on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange here with that low of a price. So Energy, Industrials, and Materials, the Canadian Energy Regulator approved a mute change request for the Trans Mountain Oil Pipeline expansion on Monday, clearing a major hurdle and avoiding months of delay for the Canadian government-owned project. Flowserve upgraded to buy from hold at Jefferies. It was up strong earlier and then sold off strong as the market reversed on that huge yield jump. PNN upgraded to buy from neutral at Mizuzu. Onto financials. Investnet named Joshua Warren as its chief financial officer effective November 15. And not sure if that had much to do with it or the environment we're in, but down 3.5% on the day. Some offshore creditors of China Evergrande Group are planning to join a winding up court petition against a cash-strapped developer if it doesn't submit new debt revamp plan by next month, two sources familiar with the matter said, as Reuters reported. On to healthcare. Immunovant, IMVT, announced that subsequent administered doses of IMVT 101,402 produced above dose-dependent reductions in IgG, and look at the gap up on this one. Huge volume. Relative strength line jumped to 98. It's up 97%. Amazing. Develops therapies that can transform the lives of patients living with autoimmune diseases. And there's a couple others there that we're going to look at in a second. Liquidia Corporation said its FDA accepted the review of the company's amendment to the tentatively approved new drug application. It was up earlier, and now it's on its low. Volume increased 52%. A lot of buying initially, and then it sold off. And Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, pretty flat, was up slightly, then pulled in the middle of its range. And Sanofi announced the FDA accepted priority review of the supplemental biologics license application for Dupixent, Dupixent, to treat children aged 1 to 11 years old with eosinophilic esophagitis. Target action for the FDA decision is January 31st, 2024. And not too much going on there. Let's move on to technology, media, and telecom. Alibaba announces intention to spin off its logistics unit into Smart Logistics Network, and didn't get much action on that. ARM Holding shares finished in their highs on Monday, rising 6% to 54.44, snapping its 6-day losing streak, but the losing streak starts all over again today with rates moving up. And VJet said to explore strategic alternatives, including investments, mergers, and acquisitions. We're up slightly, almost 1%, 221% volume change. And finally, Neuron, a US-based semiconductor startup, said on Tuesday it raised an additional $49 million in its funding round as it looks to ramp up commercialization of artificial intelligence chips. Taiwanese giant Foxconn and Altec were among the investors in the round, according to CNBC. So that's our news for today. And if I can get any more news on why shares of from Immunovant are soaring today. We're up more than, let me bring that up again. We're up around 97%. Clinical stage immunology company, a unit of Roivant Sciences, announced positive trial information on autoimmune disorder therapy. Company said on Tuesday before the markets opened that in a phase 1 trial using subcutaneous doses, achieved peak immunoglobulin G, IgG reductions that were similar to those observed with betalimab, which is another Immunovant pipeline candidate. So there you have that. And then let's go over to DraftKings. They sold off after being upgraded. And the other big mover in biotech today, SLNO, Therapeutics. Look at that move. Up 505%. Amazing volume. And let me see what I can bring up on them. They're down about 3% after hours. Y shares moved up. We're up on Tuesday before the markets opened. It announced that its lead pipeline candidate, diazoxide choline controlled release, DCCR, an extended release pill to treat Prader-Willi syndrome, PWS, showed a dramatic improvement in hyperphagia related behaviors compared to a placebo. Company said it plans to submit the new drug application NDA to the Food and Drug Administration for DCCR to treat PWS. So that's the news we have there. We got another one here. Femesis, look at that big move, up 346%, pulled back slightly, provides women's healthcare and minimally invasive non-surgical and product technologies. And we'll see what the news brings there. Receives clearance to market Femicide, an innovative infertility treatment solution. I believe this is where sperm gets inserted directly into the egg. Accessible solutions, including late-stage clinical stage product candidate, innovative diagnostic products. Today announced it has received 510-K clearance from the United States Food and Drug Administration for Femicide, an innovative infertility treatment designed to deliver sperm directly to where conception occurs in a woman's fallopian tube. In recent decades, infertility has affected an increasing number of women, estimated at 10 million in the United States, according to the Center for Disease Control. Despite the incremental advancements, there has been no recent meaningful affordable options. And I guess Femicide is going to fit that bill. So there we have it. And other news, and let's take a look at what's been, where some other areas. The NASDAQ falls hard. It's off 1.6% today. Dow Jones 1.14, and the S&P just under 1.5%. So some former leaders are holding court today. Elf Beauty, an Oakland company, on a big down day. It's getting some buying. 3 out of the last 4 days. That's looking good. Wing gaps up today. Huge volume. Was up yesterday. Gaps up today. So once again, we got, looks like 3 out of 4 days. They had a bottom over here, moved up. Several buying days, a lot of blue bars here. Tried to move up higher, sold off again yesterday, and now, or day before yesterday, 2 days up in a row. This company was up. Got some extra buying here. Was up higher earlier, but looks like it's starting to work on the right side of its base. We'll see if we could continue to get buying. Earnings are up 38% this year. Let's see, take a look at what Tesla did. Tesla sold off a little over 1% today. Volume was kind of muted, not doing too bad. Let's take a look at Meta, which has been holding up pretty strong. It's off 0.62%, and it's up slightly after hours. Microsoft doesn't look good. Apple looks even worse. Amazon is trying to hold force here, and now it is falling like a falling knife, down 4% today. That's not what you want to see. Netflix is down looks like 1.5%. So once again, Meta, we didn't look at NVIDIA, but Meta is holding up the best. NVIDIA actually got some buying 2 days in a row and sold off slightly today, less than 1%. We'll see if it has reached bottom and get some buying in here. Berman. Muni Fund is down pretty big. This unit was up big, so it had a gap up here. Huge buying on 267% earnings increase. Was earnings surprise 124%. Gapped up, it's held the gap, and it's held over here. So as long as it holds the bottom of the gap up, it'll remain positive. Operates a search company that ingests and store data from any source in any format and performs search. And unit that we keep watching in biotech. And it had sold off earlier, and it seems to be holding force, considering what the market's doing. Now we'll just have to see if it can start to work on the right side of its base. GLSI was up 1.9%, but really can't get above its moving averages. And then I took a little probing buy in Kava today. Looked like went up here, was up big yesterday and tried to move up big again. And sure enough, as soon as I bought, probably sold off. But we'll just see if that probing buy amounts to anything. If not, we can always sell. It's just look if this was the bottom and we start to get some institutional support. So keep an eye on this. I think long term, this could go sort of like this. And then this. But right now we don't really have an idea. So let me see if there's anything else out here. Look at this NBIX. There was a story on this today. It's shaping up like a huge cup with a handle pattern that goes way back to 2022. Looks like it goes back to December 1st. Was pretty wide and loose over here. Now it's starting to tighten up. So that means that less people selling. There is selling. There's going to be somebody buying right behind there. So professional buying in this. It gapped up over here. We'll just see if it can break out of this cup with a handle. Let me go back to the news on this. $660 million opportunity is driving this biotech stock. Neurocrine. It has a relative strength rating of 82, which now is moving into higher ground. See there's my pen. So it just moved above where this red line is. It's up from 27 relative strength just 3 months ago. See, as it's continually moved up, outperforming 82% of the S&P 500 companies. So it's promising results that could treat inherited diseases. Biotech company currently sells 2 drugs, Ingrezza, a treatment for movement disorders, and Ongentys, which treats symptoms of Parkinson's disease. But Neurocrine is feverishly testing new drugs for neurological, endocrine, and psychiatric diseases. Company said that its experimental treatment allowed adults with congenital adrenal hyperplasia to reduce their daily steroid treatments. The result of that study sent the stock up 7% on September 12th. Investors are awaiting more information from Neurocrine's treatment in children. In this disease, the body makes too much testosterone left unchecked that can lead to rapid growth and early puberty. Last week, Neurocrine said adolescents taking its drug showed reductions in key hormones. So the opportunity in congenital adrenal hyperplasia, or CAH, could be big for Neurocrine. Wedbush analyst Laura Chico estimates worldwide revenue of $660 million in fiscal year 2030 for Neurocrine's treatment, dubbed crinecerfont. And that's just for the adult population. So do your own research, but this is beginning to look good. This on Investors Business Daily was the stock of the day. And let's see if there's anything else on the agenda here. There's also a medical stock that catapults. Yeah, SLNO, catapult 505%. This is the one we looked earlier. Bring it up again. Tuesday, its experimental pill helped control hunger signals in genetic disorder that can lead to obesity. In response, SLNO stock nearly sextupled. Company tested 77 patients with Prader-Willi syndrome, genetic disease that causes obesity, intellectual disability, and short stature. Patients had been taking SLNO's pill dubbed DCCR for 2 to 4 years. Over 4 months, roughly half continued taking DCCR, while the others were switched to a placebo. Abnormally strong hunger signals, a medical term known as hyperphagia, returned after patients switched to the placebo. On a 9-point scale, patients' hunger signals climbed by 5 points while taking the placebo. SLNO called the results highly statistical significant. Now the company is going to ask the Food and Drug Administration to approve DCCR in mid-2024. So there we have it. No side effects expected from this drug. Let's look at some things that are happening in the news as the market pulls back strongly. We can take a final look before we go. It's moving down pretty strong. And AJ Monty believes that the NASDAQ could fall as far as this. So my short option in the NASDAQ paid off today. I bought it right about over here. And then bought some more right about there. We had a little channel pattern for a few days. And now it's moved up above that channel pattern. You can take a look on a 30-minute chart and see how it gapped up here in the morning. It has been moving higher all day. So I didn't do an SPX short, but let's just see what that is doing. Looks like that one moved up even more strongly today. Short is an inverse, inverse ETF. S&P SPX is moving up strongly. So those are a couple issues. I believe there's Tesla short as well. Let me see if I can bring that. I believe this is it. Daily Tesla. This is 1 times. And then this is 1.5 times. So it's not quite working out. This is actually a bull, I guess. Tesla bull. That's why it's pulling back. So this is a bear. It's moving up a little bit, but it's not doing as well as you would hope based on their risk. And number of the big cap techs have these. This is bull for Amazon. This is a bear for Amazon. As you can see, it's breaking out as Amazon stock falls. Huge volume in it today. It's up over 4%. Apple has one as well. This is a bear, 1 times bear. It's breaking out over here. And see if Netflix has one. Doesn't look like there's a Netflix one. Well, that's what we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned and we'll continue to evaluate the market, see what things are moving, and continue to look back at some of these issues that I think have good possibilities. Tomorrow, we're going to look at stocks with rising relative strength in the current market. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for tuning in for Mornings with Michael. This is for information, educational purposes. If you have any personal finance questions, feel free to check in with us, and hope everybody has a great day.